Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is a sponsored video being sponsored by Claire for Mike. And here's Mike's story. I need a sponsor for this story, but it's going to be short. Ollie, when I found out that my wife was cheating on me, I divorced her. She was a narc with all the attendant issues we are so familiar with. Unfortunately, she comes from a very wealthy family and can afford much better lawyers than I had. She got majority custody of the kids, then moved out of state. My kids were very young when we got divorced, but I kept in touch with them on the phone. Then the phone number stopped working. I couldn't find out where my ex-wife was and what she was doing with the kids. I sent letters to her parents' house for the kids, along with Christmas and birthday presents. I wrote a letter every day and emailed them once a week. I never heard anything back from anyone. My ex-in-laws told me that if I wanted to see my kids, I should move where they were, knowing full well that I couldn't do it because I was living overseas. After 2 years of not hearing from my kids, my brother called me. He's a cop in the town where my ex-wife and ex-in-laws live, and he responded to a domestic disturbance at their house. My narc mother-in-law hit my ex-father-in-law with a wrench and ran over his collection of vintage surfboards. Anyway, my brother found out during this visit that my ex-wife and her family had told my kids that I had been in jail for 3 years. That's why they never saw me. I've never been in jail ever. She threw away the letters I sent as well as the Christmas presents. Little kids never even knew I had been writing. The little kids never even knew I had been writing or sending things. I am finally back in the States and I've hired a lawyer to see if I can get to the bottom of this. I should have acted sooner. But I never imagined my ex-wife and her family could be this fucked up and cruel. Thanks, Mike. Yeah. But I would question, she told your brother that you were in jail for 3 years. I guess so you didn't really have much contact with your family either. They moved to the town where your brother happened to be a cop, and then they respond. That's some coincidence. That is one hell of a coincidence. But it goes to show you the disparity in the family court system. I don't think lawyers really would have made that much of a difference, Mike. She was going to get custody regardless, and if she wanted to bounce, she was going to bounce regardless. And there's not much that courts are going to do to help you. It's just not. It's just the way it is. I wish you all the luck in the world with this, with your kids. Okay, but you have to also be prepared to know when to cut your losses here. This woman has thrown away your presents, thrown away your letters, and I know what that's like. Believe me, I know what that's like. Tells me she's capable of anything. She's capable of anything. Anything. And this is going to be a long, drawn-out battle that you have to accept, that you have to come to the very, very, very real possibility of going in that you're probably going to lose. Go in thinking you're going to lose, and then hope for the best. Maybe the domestic violence, but unless the kids are living with the grandparents, and these are things family courts, they just don't get into. And it costs time and money. And I'm more curious to why she was able to tell your brother you'd been in jail for 3 years. Did he believe that, or is she just so crazy that she would say that, knowing your brother's a cop and knowing you haven't been to jail, that you're working overseas? But you're dealing with a sociopath. You're obviously dealing with a sociopath. And when your kids are used, when you take a person, when you take a father's kids away from them, it's just, unless you've been through it, there's just no way to explain what that does to you. Obviously, of everything I went through in my life, of all the abuse, this is the reason why I have the anger I do and the rage I do. It's because of this, because of what they've done to my daughter, and they've taken my child from me, taken my ability to even be a father. You know, you send letters and you call and call and call and call and you beg, and nobody listens, and that's the reality. You know, it's the family courts, and it's something I've been talking about on this channel forever. The best advice I can give you is go in thinking you're going to lose and hope for the best. And don't get sucked into a battle you're never going to win. Don't get sucked into a battle you're never going to win with exams, after home evaluations, after forensic evaluations, and court dates, and know what state you're in, know what can happen if she violates, even if you do win. Know what can happen if she violates court orders, and you're going to find, you got to look this up, and you're going to find, well, what happens if she's in contempt of a court order and doesn't stay to a custody agreement? What do? Nothing. Nothing. You have to check to see because there's no consequences for the alienating parent. There's no consequences for violating a custody order. There's consequences for the father. There's no consequences for the mother. We know this, and we know there's rare occasions where the shoe's on the other foot, but by and large, 95% of the time, this is fathers who are suffering. So, and you want to see the effects of it. You know, you want to see the effect. You look no further than that girl, that Cash Me Outside girl who Dr. Phil exploited, who her mother's your typical parental alienator. Her father's the juvenile officer in Palm Beach County. And that girl is 2 weeks older than my daughter. That's what happens. That's the end effect of parental alienation. That's where it ends up. The alienating parent doesn't even care. It's not about the kid. It's about whatever their issue is. It's personal. It's for them or for revenge or for whatever else. But you have to go in and understand that. You have to go in and be able to accept, you know what, this might not work out until my kids are old enough and make the decision to want to seek me out. And if that's the case, you have to prepare yourself to at least show them, listen, I did everything I possibly could up into a point of just it would be causing more detriment bringing the fight to you than you just waiting. Sometimes that's the best you can do as well. So consider that. So thank you to Claire for sponsoring. Thank you, Mike, for writing in. I hope this helps. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video just like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or you'd just like to make a contribution to the channel in general to help it expand and grow and make sure it succeeds, because this channel This channel functions 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you, this all goes away. So if you like what you're seeing here, you know what to do with the PayPal and email link in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.